What keeps you up at night? Pondering deep questions? Excitement about a big trip? Or is it stress about unfinished work, an upcoming test, or a dreaded family gathering? For many people, this stress is temporary, as its cause is quickly resolved. But what if the very thing keeping you awake was stress about losing sleep? This seemingly unsolvable loop is at the heart of insomnia, the world's most common sleep disorder. Insomnia is when you consistently have difficulties falling asleep, difficulties staying asleep, or waking up too early, or you just don't feel refreshed or restored by your sleep the next day. At some point, we all undergo various sleep disorders, but it is not necessarily insomnia because for insomnia, the patient must have faced such sleep problems for at least 3 nights per week or a period of 3 months. From a survey conducted where surfers were asked what it's like to have insomnia, where most said, "Mornings are tough, time is torture, worrying about sleep creates anticipatory anxiety which prevents me from sleeping. We are emotionally raw. The body reacts to exhaustion by crying to help reduce chemical imbalance. We see things. It triggers hallucinations. Nothing seems to work. But when we finally sleep, it feels like a miracle." There is a gross misunderstanding of sleep disorder symptoms and how sleep disorders present. Second, people are getting diagnosed way too late and convincing themselves that there was nothing wrong to begin with. And third, there are still very negative connotations surrounding having a sleep disorder or having something wrong with you in general. Chances are you know someone close to you who has a sleep disorder, or you have one yourself and aren't aware of it. The world needs awareness through various social, medical, and educational platforms to practice consistent therapeutical measures for the early identification and the treatment of insomnia to overcome sleep deprivation before its remission becomes unlikely. It's a major issue, but where do we begin? There are numerous approaches. However, I recommend starting within. Ask yourself how your sleep is going. You may initially say it's fine, but it's important to remember that things like excessive fidgeting in bed, persistent snoring or gasping, not feeling tired until well after midnight, or excessive daytime sleepiness and hallucinations as you fall asleep or wake up are not normal. If you notice any of these in yourself, well, then ding ding ding, it's time to reach out. To your family is a good place. Next, I recommend going to your doctor's office. They have numerous referrals and resources at their disposal. You just need to voice a need for them. Now, this isn't typically where we'd go to address sleep, but I believe it would be extremely beneficial if we did. I say this because 40% of adolescents and up to 50% of children experience sleep problems that significantly impact their health and wellness, and many of these children lack access to doctors or medications. So teaching the importance of healthy sleep habits in something like a school health class could be extremely beneficial. In a paper, I read making the argument for schools to start later, which I think can both improve learning and reduce health risks. Companies should normalize naps at work. For example, Google has installed sleep pods in its offices for staff requiring a nap as it believes that less sleep damages your health. There is also a concept called sleep hygiene, which is very simple and consists of things you probably heard before, such as make sure your bedroom is dark and comfortably cool, stay away from screens for at least 30 minutes before bed, only use your bed for sleeping, and if you're restless, leave the room and tire yourself out with relaxing activities like reading, meditating, or journaling. Set consistent resting and waking times to help orient your body's biological clock. One of the most well-understood treatments of insomnia is managing the stress that causes hyperarousal. In addition to these practices, some doctors prescribe sleep medications or melatonin, which can be highly addictive, causing withdrawal symptoms to worsen. There is also a much more effective drug-free approach called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBTI for short. The therapy helps change your habits, your beliefs, and your general stress around this thing called sleep. And there are many studies that have shown that CBDI is as effective as sleeping pills in the short term. Yet, CBDI has no negative side effects unlike sleeping pills. In addition, after you stop working with your therapist, the sleep benefits can last for years. Now, to reinforce my claim earlier, find therapy can be a game changer for many. A lot of people are turned off by the idea of finding a good therapist or even the stigma behind mental health care. But it's also an extremely rewarding experience once you do find that right fit and are able to effectively work on things that are keeping you up at night. Now, above all else, consistency is key with sleep and sleep hygiene. Things aren't going to change overnight, but that's okay. With newfound education resources, one will be able to do great things. Your sleep is suffering, you deserve help. And I encourage you, don't be afraid to challenge the stigma that has been pushed on you stating otherwise, because your sleep is worth it. Thank you.